Romance Story Claiming You, Chapter 1, Where Am I? I am Ellie Aaron, the daughter of the Aaron family. Since I was young, my mother passed away early, and my father followed suit 2 years after my mother's death, taking another step away. My stepmother and my father also have a child together. But despite that, he still loves me deeply. He always provides me with the best things, which has made me a thorn in the eyes of my stepmother and half-sibling. She tends to take advantage of the opportunity. When my father is away on a business trip to start mocking me, nitpicking, and criticizing me. I have a childhood friend named John Alice. He is also the only son in the Alice family this year, as we both turned 25. John Alice wants to propose to me. He has been in love with me for a long time, but he has never expressed his feelings until now. I also love him because we have been together since. Today, he brought his parents to my house to ask for my hand in marriage. I stood upstairs, looking down, and felt incredibly happy to see him. I couldn't help but imagine the future where we would be able to live together. But everything turned out differently than I thought. My younger sister, Alita Aaron, also has feelings for John Alice since childhood. She has had a tendency to snatch everything away from me. From the clothes I like to the new shoes I just bought. All if she fancies them, and this time is no exception. She also wants to take away the person I love the most. In the room of the two mother and child. Mom, and I don't want John Alice to marry that little girl. Alita Aaron said defiantly. Of course, my dear. A good man like John Alice shouldn't be left for that little girl. Rest assured, my child. I will take care of that girl for you, Mrs. Brenna Akshita said. After the two mothers and daughters had finished their plans, I remained innocent and unaware, still heading home as usual, but today was different. As soon as I entered the house, someone forcefully covered my mouth. I struggled to break free, but it was in vain. Suddenly, I lost all strength, and the world around me became blurry as I collapsed to the ground. When I regained consciousness, it was 3 days later. As I opened my eyes, I found myself lying next to a stranger, without a single piece of cloth on me. I was extremely bewildered, unable to comprehend what had happened the previous night as I attempted to get out of bed. I fell to the ground. In a blurry state, I looked up at the bed and saw bloodstains. I was horrified and frightened, wondering if I had given myself to this man afterwards. Suddenly, that man woke up upon seeing me. He showed no expression, just got up abruptly and approached me. I trembled with fear, overwhelmed by panic. I hesitantly asked, Who are you? Why am I here? Ellie Aaron stammered anxiously. You've been asleep for 3 days, and you're not hungry? How do you have the energy to ask questions like this? Michael Abhaya asked coldly. Indeed, I am hungry. He stood up and walked into the bathroom. As soon as he entered, I grabbed a towel to cover my exposed body. Trying to stand up to find a way to escape, 2 girls walked in, pushing a rack of clothes, all of which were high-end items. Miss, feel free to choose any outfit you like, Agatha said. I had no other choice, after all. I couldn't go outside in this state. I reluctantly chose an outfit. Putting it on feels quite fitting. And right after I finished dressing, those 2 girls came over. Please follow us, miss. Agatha said again. I followed her instructions and went along. As I descended the stairs, I saw him. He was sitting at the dining table, looking up at me. I walked down and asked him, Where am I finally? What do you want? Ellie inquired. Sit down and eat first, then we'll talk, Michael Abhaya said, gesturing towards the food in front of him. Due to extreme hunger, I had no choice but to eat. It had been 3 days since I last had anything, so having a meal felt like coming back to life. After feeling full from eating, I looked up to see where he was. But he was nowhere to be found. Where did he go? At Abhaya Corporation. Louis Frank is the close friend and right-hand man of Michael Abhaya. The two of them are renowned best friends throughout the city of Los Angeles. There is not a single business circle where their reputation is not known. Why? Is it that girl? Louis Frank brought 2 cups of coffee over to Michael Abhaya, handed him one, and said. Michael Abhaya took the coffee cup and said, "Finally found her." "Well, that's great," Louis Frank said cheerfully. "It's just that she doesn't recognize me." Michael Abhaya said sadly, "Don't worry, she'll remember you eventually." Louis Frank reassured Michael Abhaya, patting him on the back at Abhaya Corporation. Ellie Aaron wants to find a way to leave this place. But the large mansion is heavily guarded, making it impossible to escape. She sits in a corner of the room, feeling sad and wondering how she ended up in this place. To make matters worse, her first time was taken by a completely unfamiliar man. She doesn't know how she will face John Alice after this. Agatha brought in a tray of pastries, including various types of cakes and tea for her. She cheerfully asked, "Miss, what would you like to have?" I took a chance and asked her, "Can you please tell me where this is? Why am I here? What is the purpose of him bringing me here?" Ellie hurriedly inquired. "This is the Abhaya family. As for why the young lady stayed here, last night Master Michael brought her in. As for the purpose, I do not know," Agatha said. "Why?" Ellie expressed disappointment, slumping her shoulders. Seeing her sorrowful state, Agatha patted her gently and asked, "Miss, where do you come from?" "I come from a small town in San Francisco," Ellie said. "In San Francisco?" Agatha asked in surprise. "Yeah, that's right," Ellie confirmed. Seeing that the maid seemed puzzled, Ellie asked again. "So, where is here? Here is Los Angeles." Agatha said, "Los Angeles? How could I end up in this place?" Follow to hear the next episodes? Thank you.